Welcome to another optics rate debate. My name is Theodor.
My name is Andras. Hello.
And today, Andras, we're going to talk about the differences and similarities between Pulsar Axion XM30S and Pulsar Axion XQ38. So the new model for this year. Where should we start?
I think that we best hit it off with some similarities.
Okay, then let's go.
Yeah, so if we look at both models, even though there's some difference in size, they pretty much have the same body.
The same style.
The same style, the same similar form factor, so identical. They use the same button placement on top. Both have a blue power off button, and they have up button, menu button, and button for down. They both have Wi-Fi connectivity. They both have stream vision capabilities, meaning that you can connect both devices to a smartphone. You can capture images, record videos, you can stream the image to your smartphone, and you can also update the device with Wi-Fi. You don't need a cable for that. Other than this, so they have 16 gigabytes of internal memory. They both have
video storage.
they both have AMOLED type of display with a resolution of 1024 by 768. And they both can withstand, because of this display, temperatures as low as minus 25 degrees Celsius and up to 50, I would say.
I think they specified 40
I think
degrees Celsius.
They
that's
do.
Maximum, but this is already such a high temperature that nobody will use it at that temperature.
Objective rubber lens cover both have a magnet here. So this is really handy because it doesn't flap around. You can just put it here and it will hold in place. And apart from this, I would say no real worth mentioning similarities.
Yeah.
So now it's time for the differences.
Well, it's really funny because, honestly speaking, when we were looking at the prototypes of the XQ38 and when we saw all the presentations and so on months ago, I think already 1 year ago, the first prototypes were shown. None of us ever thought that it's going to be different in size and in the housing, because until now all the Axion models were completely the same in terms of the body. Now when the XQ38 came out, I was quite shocked because the body is not the same. It's, I would say, 20% bigger or 10% bigger. It's immediately when you put it in your hand, you see that it's much more robust and heavier and bigger. So it's 100 grams heavier. And when you put it in your hand, you see it's much bigger. So if the Axion XM30 fits in every pocket, the XQ38, you will need a little bit bigger pockets.
Yes.
So this is the first difference. The second difference normally is the lens diameter. The lens diameter is 38 on the XQ38 model and 30 millimeter on the XM model. Both of them have focusing when you move the lens around with this focusing ring. So it's a little bit stiffer on the XQ38 model. And then the second difference is the sensor. The sensor in the XM30 is a morphosilicate sensor, 320 by 240 pixels. And it has a pixel pitch of 12 microns. So it has the smallest pixel pitch among all Pulsar devices, and this XM30 are the only and XM22 are the only devices in Pulsar range which have amorphous silicate sensors. In XQ38, you get a vanadium oxide sensor, 384 by 288. So when you look at the architecture of the sensor, at least from the specs, it's completely the same than it is in Pulsar devices for years. It was the Quantums were already, the 38s had this sensor. Then Helions had this sensor, the Core series had this sensor.
And they even have the same pixel pitch as those devices, 17 microns. So this is also the difference between two.
Both of them have 50 hertz. We don't even speak about 50 hertz anymore because it's a standard. What is different is also the NATD factor, so noise equivalent temperature differences. That means how sensitive the sensor is, how many details you'll be able to see, how many details the device will render. So the smaller the NATD, that means the smaller the temperature difference needs to be between two objects that the device sees both these two
distinguishes
objects. between them. And this one has 40 millikelvins, the XM30 has 60, below 60 millikelvins. And it shows because the XQ38 gives you much better details and much better, higher image quality. if you go further, the difference is also in the tripod screw. On the XQ38 it's in the front, and on XM30 it's underneath, below. I have to be honest, I like this solution on the XM30 much more than on the XQ38. Then, last but not least, the difference in the eyepiece. The eyepiece of the XQ38 is much more advanced than it is in the XM30. It's really close to the eyepiece of the Helions, so even people like myself, which wear glasses, we can use the XQ38 much easier than we can use the XM30. So the eyepiece, at least in my regard, is much better, and you even have a feeling that the screen inside is bigger because of the lenses which are inside of the eyepiece. So I get the image better in the XQ38 with the glasses than I get it from XM30.
The magnification range also. So we have on the XM30S, we have 4.5 base magnification, goes all the way up to 18.
Yeah.
This one has 3.5, so we have...
And it goes to 14.
And it goes to 14. Both have 2 times digital zoom.
Yeah, and XM38 even has, it's logical, lower magnification, wider field of view. So approximately 17.2 meters on 100 meters. This one has, I think, 15. Something like that.
Something like that.
So 14.8, I think. So wider field of view and better details on this one. Batteries, yeah.
Yeah.
The APS-3 on the XM30 models, you just press it in, and then you have a button on this side which you push, and the battery comes out.
So really simple.
Easy, really simple.
Change it in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. With a new XQ38, you have a much bigger battery. Also, it will last longer. It's called APS-5.
So I think 4 hours there, and here a little bit more.
5, 6, I think, something like that. It depends on the temperature and so on. So here you put the battery in, and then you screw it in, and then unscrew it and get it out. It's much harder to get
I think
it
it's
out
not as simple as on the old model, to be honest here.
Honestly speaking, I understand that they needed a bigger battery and so on. I still think it would be much nicer if all of these devices would share the same battery.
Yeah.
But ever since Pulsar have their own capabilities to produce batteries, and honestly speaking, this is the big breakthrough, in my opinion, in thermal optics, that Pulsar offers devices where you're able to exchange the battery really fast, because it has a couple of advantages against all the competitors. First of all, when the battery runs out, you need just a couple of seconds to replace it with a
and an extra battery costs how much?
45 euros.
Yeah, and this one is a little bit more expensive.
But
probably.
Still, it's really not expensive. So you're always able to have multiple batteries, and you're always able to exchange them really fast. So this is a really big plus in use, because I know with competitive devices which have internal battery, it always runs out exactly in that moment when you need the device the most. So it's like Murphy's rule. The battery dies when you would need it the most. With Pulsars, you don't have this problem. The second thing is, the battery is probably the weakest part of all thermal devices. So when the battery starts to fade in 3 years, 2 years, it depends how much you use it. With Pulsar, it's really easy to just change it for a new one, and it's really not expensive. And again, your device you'll be safe
That's
for a couple of years. With competitors, you have to send it back to service, that they change the internal battery, and let's say 4 years from the day you purchase it, it's always an option that the batteries are not in stock anymore.
So most devices made by the competitions are like smartphones. You have them 2-3 years, and then the battery just fades so quickly, you just have to throw it away and get a new one.
And this is a really big advantage of Pulsar. This exchangeable batteries are, I would say, the biggest thing that happened in thermal optics for years now.
Charger.
Okay, charger.
The charger is updated. Here on the new model, it also has a cooler at the bottom. And what I want to mention here is that when we compare these two devices, the XM30S has a micro USB socket here. This one has a USB Type-C socket.
Yeah.
And you also get a different cable. And many of our customers have complained, where is the other part for the Type-C? It's right here.
Yeah,
it's a special adapter so that you can use it both as a standard USB and as a Type-C.
Yeah. It's a great solution, because you know that all the computers are going from standard USB to Type-C. So with this cable, you're able to use it in
it's
all
much
devices.
easier. Yeah,
it's much easier. if we still go back to differences, the optical performance, a better sensor, lower NATD, all of this. The same range of detection.
Yeah.
So 1,300 meters, 1,350 meters, almost the same.
What about the identification range?
It's much better on the XQ38. So with an XQ38, even though the range of detection is similar, the range of identification is much better.
The details are better seen, right?
Better sensor, lower NATD, and a bigger lens. So it helps. And on top of that, you even get a wider field of view, which is positive. And now we come to the I would say, the difference which tells why all these other differences are present in each of the device. This is price.
Yeah.
So 1,690 euros, 1,990 euros. So 300 euros of difference. With this 300 euros of difference, you get better image quality, you get better identification, longer battery life, and a better eyepiece. It's easier to use if you wear glasses. Apart from that, all the rest is more or less the same. So if I go which one to choose, if you like compact devices, if it's really important that the device is light, because this one weighs around 250 grams, this one 350 grams, this one goes in every pocket, this one a little bit bigger pockets. I would say if you're in a search for a compact device, then XM30S it's a really good choice. If image quality and use with glasses is more important, then the Axion XQ38 is probably a better choice.
And this is, after all, a newer device. It was put out in the second part of 2020, so not long ago. This one is about a year old. It ccame out after XM30 and XM38 were discontinued, right?
Yeah. I also have to say that even though these batteries are smaller and don't last that long, I like the system of attaching the battery more on the XM30S because it's really easy. You just push the button and the battery comes out. With an XQ38, the battery is far more secure in its position, but you have to a little bit of hassle.
Get a grip and then
sometimes it's really hard to get it out.
Yeah.
It's like you really need to apply a lot of force. So all in all, did we cover everything?
3-year warranty on both.
Yeah.
And service in Lithuania. So even if the warranty period expires, they will repair it for you.
Yeah. You will have to pay the repair.
You will have to pay the repair, but
it's
in Europe, so it won't take a lot of time. But I think we mentioned everything.
Okay. Then thank you for watching. Please look at our other videos, and if you like our channel, please subscribe.
See you. Bye.